Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Adam. You're watching Unlimited Options Investing. Another day of the most anticipated earnings of the quarter. And yesterday on Wednesday, we went through the biggest market movers after the close. On Tuesday, we had AMD, Microsoft, Alphabet, Google, Visa, Twitter, ENPH, and Robinhood. And then today we had a bunch of earnings as well. Not in as big names as Microsoft and Alphabet and Visa even, but some pretty significant names in the S&P 500. Boeing, GM, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Ford, Teledoc, Twilio. So some pretty substantial names, but I guess you could say it's a little bit of a lull between Tuesday and Thursday, where you have Apple and Amazon and Shopify, MasterCard reporting on Thursday. So without further ado, guys, stocks making the biggest moves after hours. On Wednesday, we had Ford, eBay, Twilio, and more. So Ford Motor. Shares of the automaker jumped more than 5% after it nearly doubled analysts' third quarter earnings expectations and recorded a slight beat on revenue projections. Ford increased its annual guidance for the second time this year. eBay, the e-commerce brand's shares fell 5% after the company reported quarterly results. The company topped earnings expectations by 1% per share and beat revenue estimates, but issued weak fourth quarter revenue guidance. Teledoc Health, the virtual healthcare company, saw its stock fall more than 4%, though the company reported a smaller than expected loss for the third quarter and also beat revenue estimates. And Twilio, shares of the cloud communications platform tumbled more than 12%, despite a beat on both earnings and revenue for the third quarter. Twilio reported strong revenue guidance for the fourth quarter, but projected a fourth quarter loss of 23 cents per share to 26 cents per share, compared to an expected loss of 8 cents. So taking a look at AMD, so it actually opened up below where it closed yesterday and immediately was bought up by retail, and then had a pretty volatile day, closing the day actually right where it opened pretty much. Microsoft had an excellent day, opened up at the price that actually ended off yesterday after hours at 316, climbed higher, and then consolidated at those prices. And today I sold the 330 call around 130 that expires at the end of the week. Looking at Google, this one was an absolute monster today, opening up where it closed off yesterday and just beasted right up to about 29.60 more or less, consolidating and then selling off a little bit into the close, but not really. What a great day for Alphabet stock, up 5%. Looking at Visa stock, this one absolutely dumped today, down 6.92%. And this is the lowest I've seen Visa in quite a while. Looking year to date, yeah, look at that, straight down. The last time we were at these prices was maybe March time of earlier this year. And by extension, even though MasterCard reports on Thursday before they open, this one was guilty by association because Visa and MasterCard usually go together. And so it gapped down from yesterday's close and then continued selling off, down 6.05% for the day. It'll be interesting to see if the earnings change that result whatsoever. Looking at Twitter as well, this one also dumped today, gapping down from Tuesday's close and immediately selling off right after, all the way down to $55, falling 10.78%. Spotify actually had a good day, up 8.3%. They also reported on Wednesday, and unlike a lot of hyper-growth companies that have been down after their earnings this week, Spotify is a bright spot. Taking a look at ENPH, this one was on fire today, up almost 25%. Wow. It gapped up and it consolidated at these prices, and this one has been a wild ride. Looking year to date, I think we're almost near those all-time highs that we had reached earlier this year in February. The 52-week high just over 229, and today's high at 225. Whereas GM actually had a bad day, down 5.5%. Ford, on the other hand, after hours, exploded to the upside, up 8.77%, and this is actually becoming a very popular retail name. If we look at the performance of the last 5 years, ever since the pandemic crash, this one has just been trending upward ever since, up about 265%. Six Flags also reported on a Wednesday morning, and this one didn't do very well either, down 8.44%. Market cap is actually only $3.63 billion, which is a lot of money, but when you're talking about the Microsofts of the world and the Apples and the Amazons, it doesn't even come close. And this one has been absolutely decimated ever since the pandemic had started, but it has recovered to near levels that it was before the pandemic. One of Cathie Wood's favorite stocks that she has a lot of money riding on is Teledoc Health, and this one has also been in a vicious down cycle. I remember this one was, I think, $300 back in February of this year. If we take a look at the one-year chart, yeah, this one has a 52-week high of 308, and now well below 50% of those all-time highs. Twilio Stock, another hyper-growth company, and this one again, although it did very well as we saw in the article on CNBC, because its guidance was so poor, this one also dropped 13.21% after hours. Upwork stock, and I actually hold this one, was down 6.77%. And I actually have a covered call on this one that I had sold a few weeks ago because I know with the options on Upwork, they don't have every week, it's just once a month. So I remember rolling over my previous month, and I had the 65 call, so it's going to be well below that now, with the IV probably crushing. I can probably actually close this one this week immediately. Boeing stock reported before the market as well, and it did actually gap up from Tuesday's close, but then sold off, and again, this one is a little bit volatile. Not too much crazy action like we've been seeing in other stocks that are up 5% and down, 10% and up 25% like ENPH. This one was pretty sideways other than the first maybe half an hour or two or so. And lastly, eBay stock, this one was down 5.34% after hours, was falling off where it was trading for most of Wednesday. And I know they're completely different companies, but they are in the same sector, kind of, sort of like Visa and MasterCard. Not really, it's not as connected, but I'm sure as all of us were really interested in seeing Amazon and Apple report on Thursday. And other than that, we have a few companies on Friday, some oil companies as well as AbbVie, which is a pharmaceutical company. So it's definitely been a pretty interesting and hectic week. Let me know in the comments so far what you think of the earnings so far. As always, subscribe and like, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.